Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the New Times program. There is so much that I want to get into with the program here this morning, and we're going to get to that. And the reason, hence, my selection this morning to start off the program from Bob Marley, Hypocrites. But before we do that, I want us to get in touch with the PRO of the New Democratic Party. I'm going to try and make contact with her now, because there are some things, a new initiative that I want us to highlight as it relates to the New Democratic Party going forward. Lavon, are you there?
Colin, yes, morning.
All right, good, wonderful. You're hearing me. Thank you for joining us on the New Times program today, Lavon. It's good to have you. I want us to talk about quickly as we...
Good to be with you.
Thank you. I want us to talk about quickly as we're moving forward about one of the latest and one of the newest innovations coming from the New Democratic Party. I don't want to spill the beans too much. I want you to go ahead and to get us started and elaborate on it for us this morning.
All right, sure, Colin, not a problem. Now, one of the things that we're focused on in the party is actually inclusivity, especially with the younger persons. So one of the things, the initiatives that we're doing is actually a very easy one where young people between the ages of 16 to 35 years old, you're eligible to enter into a competition to win $500. Now, all you need to do is send us a video. And what you have to talk about in that video is the SVG that I want to see and live in. And that's a very simple topic, very easy. The video can be as little as 35 seconds and as much as 90 seconds. 90 seconds is 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now, how you win, we're going to upload the videos that you email to us. We upload it to our Facebook page and you get your friends to like it. Very simple. The person with the most likes win the $500. That's it. No tricks, nothing. All you need to do is just, even if you use your cell phone and you do the video and you send it to us at ndpinsvg@gmail.com. That is ndpinsvg@gmail.com. Use the cell phone, send us a video talking about the SVG you want to see and live in. And I mean, it's simple. A lot of us say, listen, I want to see a St. Vincent and the Grenadines with more opportunities for this. I want to see a St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a better healthcare system, whatever it is. You want to see a St. Vincent where politicians are held more accountable. You want to see SVG where people do not let political biases get between us and stuff like that. So it's not anything hard. It's a very easy way for our young people to win $500. And I mean, when you think about it, you have like CXC fees to pay right now and all those other things. Right. I wish I was eligible to enter college. Let me ask you
this, Lavon. Are you encouraging persons to be as creative as possible with this instead of just doing regular videos and send?
Definitely. I mean, you could be as creative as you want. My thing is just don't go over the time limit. The time limit is 1 minute 30 seconds. The deadline is actually on Thursday. I may extend it to Friday. I'm not too sure yet. But the deadline for submission is on Thursday. You could be as creative as you want. And we actually have no restrictions whatsoever. The only reason why we ask a submission for vetting is so that people don't use abusive language. You don't have to be a supporter of the NDP. You don't have to be a supporter of any party for that matter. Once you're a young Vincentian, you can enter, win $500 instantly. And the truth is, it's not even like you're coming to a panel of judges. You actually win by the number of persons that you get to like your video.
All right. How can persons find more information as it relates to this?
Well, you can go to any of the youth pages. So if you go to the NDP Young Democrats, the information is there. If you go to NDP New Democratic Party on Facebook, it is there. If you find me on Facebook, Laverne King, it is there. If they go on your page, Colin Graham, anywhere at all they go on any one of our pages, they'll be able to find it. And if they can't find us, they can definitely find you on Facebook, and the information is there. The flyer is there.
All right, and we want to encourage persons.
Also call the office. They can call the NDP office as well to get information.
All right. We want to encourage persons too as well to share the flyer as much as they can. Help us to spread the message, because the more persons are aware of this, the more chances persons have of entering and, of course, winning a cool $500, especially in these times.
I particularly like it because, you know, every young person, they're on their phone these days. Oh, yeah. And a lot of times people are only doing things as a matter of... I think topics that are deliberately politically skewed, but this topic is not deliberately politically skewed in any way. It's legit just for somebody to talk about this. It's like your aspirations, your dreams, what you want to see in your country, you know? And I think that we have to, as the youth, we have to be able to foster those sort of things happening in our country, you know? And I think that it's a healthy thing for people to talk about. To, you know, the St. Vincent I want to see and live in. Very simple. Very easy way to win $500.
Easy.
At home or pay for subjects, something, you know?
All right, Laverne. Well, thank you very much. We just wanted to get the latest heads up with that as it relates to that new initiative from the New Democratic Party. So I want to encourage persons to head to the NDP's social media platforms and start sharing the flyer, and of course as well start sharing your videos as to the St. Vincent and the Grenadines you would want to see too as well, and start sending those videos. Once again, how are persons eligible?
All you need to do is be between the ages of 16 to 35 years old. You be Vincentian, email it to us. The email address is ndpinsvg@gmail.com. That is ndpinsvg@gmail.com. Make it be as little as 35 seconds as much as 90 seconds. 90 seconds is 1 minute and 30 seconds. You send it to us, we upload it, you get your friends to like it, boom, you win.
All right. Laverne, thank you very much. Taking a little time out from your busy schedule and giving us the update on this one. All right, thank you.
Diplomatic, hypocratic, drive and tourist, top and Norris, city hypocrites, them a galande, city hypocrites, them a galande.
All right. Bob Marley, Hypocrites. And I have to chuckle a little bit with that one this morning. And the reason why I have to chuckle with it a little bit this morning, please permit me, because there is a lot to talk about, there's a lot to discuss, there's a lot that I keep saying continues to happen and continues to unfold here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And one thing is for sure is that we can't run from that, we can't hide that, we can't deny that, and we can no longer bury our heads in the sand about it. The Prime Minister had a press conference, and as much as he's always full of words and full of explanations and full of a lot of things when it comes to the Prime Minister, and I'm not saying that in any disrespectful way, but I find it very funny and I find it very hypocritical as it relates to one of his comments surrounding the petitions, and basically trying to say that persons who have made a mockery of the electoral system, and I guess the judiciary and everything, would pay a heavy political price because, well, they are making the country look bad. Stick a pin right there. Stick a pin right there. This is coming from the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister who likes to cement every opportunity that he gets of how well we are doing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and how well his administration has done, and how well he has done in making St. Vincent and the Grenadines better and look better and more competitive, and we look good. This, ladies and gentlemen, coming from that same Prime Minister. And with all due respect, and I know some people might be a little thing here, but with all due respect, Mr. Prime Minister, don't be such a hypocrite. When you too, to yourself, know of everything that has been said and done by your administration under your leadership to make this country look bad, and not just you, but by extension the rest of your family and the members of your government. We can sit here, and I can sit here and highlight again and again and again so many examples of the things that you and your administration would have done, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but repeatedly, that has earned our country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines a bad name, not just in the region, but internationally. So please, take the beam out of your own eye before you want to criticize others about theirs. Because there is nothing relating to the petitions that has been more of a mockery, or the elections that has been more of a mockery, than what you and your administration has done to it. And I find it very hypocritical to come out and make such utterances. One thing I do agree with that statement, though, Mr. Prime Minister, is where you say that there will be a political price to pay. Because I do genuinely believe that there will be a political price to pay. But you have to ask yourself, in all honesty, would it be you that will be paying that political price? Based on everything that has been said and done by your administration. We want to be honest and we want to be truthful with one another. Then why not come out and be honest and truthful with Vincentians about a lot of the things that has been done under your leadership, under your administration? So let's not be hypocrites here. Let us not be hypocrites here. Now, I am pretty sure that there are many persons out there who would share my similar sentiments. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching here today on the NDP New Times program. But we're always quick to run from the truth and to pretend that we're always on the side of right and righteousness, when deep down inside we know just how corrupt our ways are and can be. So it is always quick to point a finger to somebody else and say you're making a mockery of this and you're making a mockery of that and you're making the country look bad and you're doing this and you're doing that. That is why leadership is so important, because we need to set the proper examples from the very top. So when we have our leaders at the very top doing things and saying things that can see and seem very hypocritical, then we really have to ask ourselves as a people if we really want to change or not. We must want this change so much that we're willing to put country before party and its leaders. We must be willing to see both the good and the bad in people. One thing is quite obvious to me, and I know there are many of us out there who feel the same way, and we will continue to be beaten with many stripes because of our view of our country and our love for our country. When we say we can see and we can know for a fact that our country can be so much more than what it is now under this present administration. There are many who could tell you, I remember what St. Vincent used to be like. And I have seen how far we have come and how much we have strayed and how much we are still lagging behind. And it pains them. I know of many persons, businesses who still continue to struggle in this country and at the verge of they're ready to give up, to shut down, to close down, to try to go to greener pastures in other countries with a bigger and brighter economy. Not because they want to, but because they feel it is the only thing left for them to do so that they can be able to provide not only for themselves, but their families. And that is also reflective in so many of our young people in this country who are frustrated beyond the point of, boy, you know what? Maybe the only thing left for me to do is to leave this rock and go out there and bite the bullet wherever else I can. Is it just by sheer imagination that we don't want to see or accept everything that we continue to face in this country, while others on the other side continue to feed us nothing but dribble? Because that is all it is. Mucus flowing from the mouth of persons who cannot provide any proper alternative and solutions going forward. They are stuck because they have gotten to the point of nothing more than self-gratification for them and themselves and their families. While other Vincentians continue to feel the pressure and the squeeze, even some of their own. And those are the ones I feel it for too. Not so much the ones who have already been feeling the grind for the longest while, because we have grown so accustomed now of feeling the grind that we know how to bear the grind. But then there are others who have become so comfortable that they fear of losing all of that and losing all of their porks and their stature and their positions. In fear of losing all of that, they will grab on to almost anything frantically to try and sustain not only themselves but their positions. And we have to ask ourselves, where is our integrity? Where is our conscience? Where is our social conscience in all of this? Where is our empathy for others? Okay. So, Mr. Prime Minister, we are making a mockery of the electoral system, the judiciary, and everything. All right. We are making the country look bad. We are making the country look bad. But here you have in the Grenadines a people resilient, strong, determined, somewhat independent, very loving and prideful. And not just prideful of their little chain of islands in the Grenadines, but prideful because they too are Vincentians and they are proud of their island, the beauty of it and what it has to offer, just as much as St. Vincent. Who is making the country look bad when you can't even fix a wharf? When you've known clearly for how long now the sufferation of the people in the Grenadines, but you continue to turn a blind eye to the people, the native people of the Grenadines, the same ones you wanted to have jump and cheer for you. You continue to turn a blind eye to them, but always quick to give a hug and a smile and a twinkle in your eye for the investors. But find it hard to provide a proper wharf for the people on the Grenadine island of Canouan. But no, we're making a mockery and making the country look bad. You really want me to start going up the line of issues, right up to the top of things that you and your administration continue to do to make this country look bad? Because we can start climbing the ladder all the way to the top, including yourself, members of your family, and members in your administration. You see, time for hypocrisy has to stop. And time for truth to come forward. But you see, oh, how much we fear the truth because of just how much the truth can make us look, not just to ourselves, but to everyone looking on. And how much we wish we could just lock everything away in a closet and hope that it will forever stay there, in fear that any sort of light shine on any of the things in our closets going to make us look bad. You see, St. Vincent will continue to face a lot of truths going forward, as harsh as they are, and as much as we don't want to face a lot of them, in fear of just how bad it will continue to make our country look. The fact of the matter remains that if it be that the truth is what will set us all free, then I challenge everyone else, including you, Mr. Prime Minister, and everyone else in your family and administration, to do the right thing. Do it fairly, do it honestly, and do it justly. Do it with the utmost transparency. No hanky-panky, no hiding, no hands behind the back, nothing. You want to consider yourself and call yourself and beat your chest for as long as you want of holding the championship belt. But I challenge you, are you really ready to put it on the line with no hanky-panky? With all the honesty, all the openness, all the accountability, everything. And really, instead of just talking up and talking up and talking up and twisting and turning and dancing, it's to own up and to stand up and say, okay then, fine, let we do it. And let we do it openly and honestly. No hanky-panky, no hands tied behind the back. No hypocrisy. And let the truth and the whole truth set this nation free. Let the people have their say. Honestly. With no games. No fooling around. Are you really ready to talk on the issues without dillying and dancing and give people the honest truth about a lot of things in this country, especially when it comes to money? Do you think that the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, do you think that they don't deserve to know the truth about how monies have been spent on so many different things in this country? Don't you think they deserve the truth as to so many appointments and disappointments under your leadership, under your hand, under your guidance, under your say and your rule? Don't you think civil servants deserve better? Don't you think the young people in this country, from an educational standpoint, deserves better? Don't you think that crime and violence in this country deserve better? Don't you think our police service, don't you think that they deserve better? Don't you think our healthcare sector deserves better? Or is it that all you're concerned about is your party, your lineage, your rule, your leadership at all costs, irregardless of how much you claim to say that you love poor people in this country? I challenge you, Mr. Prime Minister. Do you really love poor people in this country? Or do you really love the vote of poor people in this country? Be honest. Do you really love the people, or do you just love the vote and how much you can manipulate the vote of poor people in this country? So you love them. You love them enough to manipulate them to vote for you. But do you really love them? And do you really love your country? I do believe that there will be a political price to pay. But I really wonder if you do know to what extent that political price may actually be. NDP New Times. Alright, I saw a call coming in there. Remember, it's an interactive program and you can call and make your contributions. 1-784-456-5967. That's the local number. You can call on the Magic Jack 1-718-734-5615. Let's go to the phone line. NDP New Times, hello.
A special good morning to you, Mr. Graham.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I listen to you, and your presentation for me is grounded on what you expect and what you anticipate that Gonzalez should have done for the country, in spite of his limited achievements. So you saying that more should have been done because Dr. Gonsalves based his assessment on the last election and love for poor people. From your understanding, you don't think he has demonstrated that from what you say. That might be politically right for you to say so. So I'm in your corner politically. But on the other hand, Mr. Graham, I have been a part of the New Times program a long time, way back as Mr. Edward Lynch and Honest Cook. Now Cook is in Starsky and House, and I was.
I'm gonna follow you where you're going, right? I'm being patient because I wanted to ask you a question with your first comments, but I will save that until you're finished.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm of the impression, Mr. Graham, that this New Times program is for the people of Simmons and the Ghanaians, and the ones here who hoping to persuade to vote for the NDP in the next election. And my reason for saying so, there is an amnesty from the tax department / government proposing for persons to come forward and pay their tax because that is one of the sources of income that the government depends on. And I listened to Margaret London on Friday, and I was really disturbed in the way that she did her program in terms of giving me the impression that taxation is not good. Because taxation is what the government and the party in opposition waiting to govern the country. And I am asking myself, what is the purpose of the NDP in the opposition? It's to win the next election and become the government, right? Not everything that Dr. Gonsalves do might be right politically, but there's things that he did. For instance, the infrastructure of the airport. It's the way forward because it is there, and the NDP criticize certain aspects of it, but I understand that they are saying they were going along with it because it would be.
And you understand what were the aspects that the NDP criticized, right? The lack of accountability as it relates to that entire airport.
Right, okay, and from politically it was justified because that is what the opposition is for, is to question all the things that they don't see it going their way, how it should
And it's
go.
to note that up to this day we still haven't had any sort of accountability with that.
Well, according to the NDP, they haven't received any, and the government said there is no need for because the airport don't cost the amount of money that the NDP claim it costs. But say as it is, that is how it is in Simmons. But my thing is that when we hear persons speak for the NDP, in particular you and Board Francis, because those are two of you who are carrying the flagship so far, is it just to keep the base right, or is it to keep get new people to support the NDP? Because I believe that you on the program will attract younger people than I will attract, than both will attract, than Margaret Lana will attract. So I'm wondering if you satisfy the way that the New Times program is going, and you think that the NDP should make more changes towards it. Because like I say, I am very critical of everything. And I think that taxation is important. I listened to Margaret Land on Friday, and I get the impression that she's saying the government was on a witch hunt for those who not paying their tax.
All right. Let me jump in here now. Let me ask you two questions based on your comments. The first question is, just as much as you seem to think of where my position is in terms of talking, how do you feel about this present administration right now? Have you been satisfied with everything that they have done, everything they have not done? Your perception. How do you feel about this present administration?
Well,
they've done a good job or not to this point?
I'm going to answer you this way. I think that they did what they had to do. I think that they tried their best. More could have been done.
You think a time has come in now for them for a change?
But Silent Graham, it's quite obvious. NDP stayed 17 years in office, and the last 5 years.
Okay, so you agree that there needs to be a change. There should be a change. Time has come for a change.
Politically, it's time for a change. You have one party in office for 4 terms.
All right, so let me go on now to the taxation. All right, the taxation. Yes. Now, clearly this administration seems to think that going forward, raising monies to continue to manage this country, the best way forward is taxation. Because let us face it, right? The taxes are the way in which the government collects money to run this country, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, have you seen, apart from that, any other major thrust and push, answers, solutions to the problem of gaining money to help to continue to manage this country forward other than taxation?
Well, I tell you something, Mr. Graham. The Prime Minister might say, what is the NDP proposing to do better than that the government is
And have you heard a solution as it relates to that coming from the New Democratic Party?
Well, I understand that Dr. Friday and the NDP is saying that they will be under quest to create jobs, more jobs, and jobs.
That's all you've heard?
No, I'm saying I should provide also.
Right. I can also tell you what the NDP has been saying. You've been hearing, even up to last week self, when I was on with Mr. Eustace, we were talking extensively about the Citizen by Investment Program. You remember that?
Yes.
And how well St. Kitts have been doing, how well a lot of the other Caribbean islands in the region have been doing with it when it is done properly with due diligence and dotting all the T's and crossing all the I's. We've given you the examples of many other countries in the region that has adopted that program, and it has been working well for them under their due diligence. But this present administration refuses to go down that road as an option to get this country out of the financial debt that we are in. Their solution to the problem is, you know what? We ain't going to tax the rich. We're going to tax the poor.
What Dr. Gonsalves is have an attitude towards that issue of passport investment, and he's the Prime Minister, and if he don't think he's going that way, we have to support him for it.
So what do you think? What do you think? Taxation on one side, right, as a solution to generate revenue to push this country forward, and on the other side, right, a party that is clearly saying that we'll look into all the possibilities of providing jobs, but not only that, we'll go as far as looking and implementing the Citizen by Investment Program, as many of the other Caribbean islands in the region, especially St. Kitts, who have been booming so well from it, as a way and means of turning this country's economy around.
Well, that is what you're doing now. By answering the question and posing the question to me, you're giving the NDP position and solution for the problem that NDP claim exists in St. and Grading. So that might be something that the government has to take note of. But as it is today, we hear the NDP speak about the issue of agriculture, jobs, more jobs, creating IT and going back to the land. That is good. But you are doing that. And people listen, not because they might not call, but to give the impression, like Margaret did on Friday, that taxation, the government is on a witch hunt. I don't support the position because, you know why I don't support the position, Mr. Graham? Because Dr. Friday is the Prime Minister in waiting, and the same people who Margaret is speaking to and the NDP speaking to today will be the taxpayers tomorrow. And we just can't either ignore that the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines only paid $301 million because they refuse to pay the tax. We have to encourage them to pay the tax. We have to encourage them to go and deal with this amnesty. Because why? We get better roads, we get better health care, we get more opportunities for children to get education. So while you're there hoping to win more people, you making a demand and write this stuff. You say to Gonsalves, come and speak the truth, be transparent, be honest. I am also saying to the NDP, beat Dr. Gonsalves at his own game, be truthful, upful, tell the truth, and come with the proposal. Garland Graham, you have a great day.
Thank you, man. All right. And you see that? I don't mind that. Because we have to engage persons on all levels. And Kingsley, I know, just like we all know, just what is the state of affairs that we live in this country. That doesn't mean that we can't make a difference and we can't make a change. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's see, we have NDP New Times. Hello.
Good morning, Colin. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
How was the weekend? Good?
It was quiet. I didn't do much at all.
You didn't do much, so you have lots left to do.
Of course.
Anyhow, there's so many things, but it's too much. Kingsley, he's my friend, but Kingsley, I think he has things mixed up. He needs to see Margaret and let her explain exactly what really happened. And Kingsley, I'm saying.
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't get to hear Margaret. So you notice my comments as it relates to that was quite reserved.
But then at one in Kingsley, have you voted as yet? It's my friend, I know I could tell him so.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got to look at it. First of all, I'm a senior citizen, right? And I am only here, this June will be 16 years, okay? I never liked politics. My mother loved her church, and she loved her politics.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what got me into this politics? For seeing, and I wasn't looking out for the elderly people, I was looking out for the children. The program that NDP had for the children with the book loan scheme and where it has gone to. There's so many things, if you start to name, you wouldn't finish by Christmas, as far as I'm concerned. I may be wrong, subject, but I can stand my criticism. Then again, talking about the airport, I've said from day one, a project like the airport, it's not Ralph Gonzalez's project. And it's not, he's the one who brought it to fruition, if you want to call it like that.
But you're right.
It has been sanctioned.
It's the people's project.
Okay? And I always believe that he should have had the business sector, he should have had the NDP, and people who are concerned and love St. Vincent and the Grenadines together, sit down around whether round table, square table, whatever you want to call it, and everybody put their pros and their cons and be objective about it. And that's why people keep saying up to this, Mr. NDP never wanted the airport, and that is not true.
Nope.
We know that is not true. Then look, okay, they had the grand finale. We don't have any money. Why are you spending all this money to entertain people, to hang in your hat higher than where you can reach it, and you have poor people can't make ends meet, they can't send their children to school. That is good leadership? I don't think so. Okay?
All right, my dear.
I'm not quite finished.
Oh, of course. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm just bringing some more. Then look at the morality of our children. I left there at the age of 19 years old, and I didn't know half of what some of these five-year-old children know now. Okay? And I did start my career in teaching. I didn't know that. What are we doing? What are we doing under this government with their morals and their values? We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. But there's room for correction. What does it tell us again when the good old Catholic boy is blaspheming in so many ways, bringing his son now to compare that he's Jesus? What is it telling to our children? I'm not looking to the elderly people because we're supposed to be discerned for ourselves. We're supposed to be able to know what we're doing. What is it telling our children? The children are our future. You talk, I hear and I see Julian on TV saying agriculture is dead. I left here at 19 years of age. I might sound like a scratch.
And it sounds like they're proud to say that, eh?
Yes, because I had 300 holes of bananas planted. I had the whole ground work up, and all I got out of it was some string beans because it was newly done. You're right. What are we telling our young people? Sit down at the wayside, on the street and wherever, or at the rum shops and so on. Wait until every year, 5 years to get a drink of rum or some food. All this bribing during election needs to stop. You have people. I walk the streets of Kingston, and somebody mentioned my name, and I said, they hear me talk, and they know who I am. So I know everybody know who I am if they want to. Okay? We have people that have since 10 years, since 2010, hasn't had their roof seen too. Is that right? And we are all paying taxes? When Mr. Yusuf said to take off all the tax off so that, poor people can survive, because I don't know how we are surviving.
Well, that is their solution,
Okay. And instead of that, we increase it. When I came back here, the government had the government supermarket. We sell it out, everything we're selling out because of the ULP. And then again, look at Bigger Bigs, all these people, Marcus de Freitas, right? If they were allowed to continue what they're doing without interference and being victimized, you know how many people would have been employed by now? And when those people are employed, let's say they employed 80, 100 people, then somebody might want them to, who is working with them, to stay with their old parent or grandparent or babysit. So, I mean, there's no stopping, because the thing is that these people are employed, they can afford to, you know, pay whatever little they had to employ somebody else. Okay, you can't keep a good man down, and they will survive. Look, this guy, he sues everybody, his own cousin, when I believe that his children and Dougie children, Marcus' children, should all be, you know, family loving. It doesn't matter what the parents have. But instead of that, you're just dividing your own family and your Vincentian family, if we're your family. You're dividing us. You're saying that you own every inch of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He don't own my lands and he don't own me. And we have to believe that. And stop, you know, people need to speak out and speak the truth. Cause it whatever it will. You know, but we are all fearful. Up to this morning, somebody called me. I was finished with my devotion, and telling me how much their niece and whatnot was victimized because what they do in nursing, which there should be no politics. We're supposed to treat all patients the way we want to be treated. We're supposed to see our loved ones in every patient that we take care of. Right? And not in nursing alone, but I'm just saying nursing because this was my profession. But when you're working, you're supposed to do the best you can, and you treat that person, your employer. He's supposed to treat it the way he likes to be treated, and you look after you do the job as if it is your job, because that's where you're getting. Okay, darling, there's where you're getting your bread and butter from. I had somebody call me this morning before I finished my devotions and tell me how many of her relatives, because they support the NDP, that they were qualified, and I have relatives who have been qualified for the job, right? With even more degree than whosoever they take in their people in that space. But because presume that they support the NDP, they did not get a job. Look at Bassi Alexander granddaughter.
And you know, many of them would want to say there is no brain drain in this country, you know. But there is a brain drain in this country.
Because you need to survive. Why are you going to burn that midnight oil? That's my thing. And then realize that you're going to stand up begging. What this man wants you to do is everybody come and beg, and they give you a mouthful of food or a drink every 5 years. Why aren't we being ambitious? Vincentians are educated people, and most of them, and they have the brain, they have the knowledge, they have the know-how.
Many of them are getting frustrated and packing up and going to other countries to try and make a life because.
Yeah, look at take 2010, right? When NDP showed the hospital, I cried, and I said to Mr. Eustace and Mr. Cummins, I wish I was 30 years or younger so that I could work in that hospital for a while.
And they made a mockery of it.
Such a big mockery, and where's this to show? Where's it to show? Look at the I heard there's some problem now with the fisheries right here. But look at the amount of money they spend, and they want out in the country. It's a beautiful building. I haven't been inside, but you pass by and you love it. And
let us face it, right?
Yeah,
infrastructure alone is not going to. It is just going to make the country look good. But then if it is not being managed properly, then we just spinning top in mud. What's the beauty about having pretty buildings, but then we can't run them and we can't manage them properly?
Look what they said about the cruise ship berth and the financial building. And who's enjoying it? It's not them. You know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I know I can't say quarter because it will take probably till December to bring out all this. Why aren't we opening our eyes? If you're not doing it for you, do it for your children.
Correct.
Do it for your grandchildren. Do it for your relatives. Do it for the younger people so that they could see there's a life in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And people wanted, Colin, a lot of my friends wanted to come back home. I was going to make a tape and send back to them.
Mm-hmm. I know there are a lot of persons, I know there are a lot of Vincentians overseas who would love to come back home, who want to come back home, but they would tell you plain and straight under this present administration. And you know, the thing about it is, many of them were supporters of this same administration.
That's right.
Many of them. I know quite a few of them too as well. And they, every now and then, Colin Boy, we're going on in St. Vincent, boy, they would message me on Facebook, on my WhatsApp, Colin Boy, really going, I say, well, you seeing for yourself. And I know they were supporters.
Another thing that I cannot see why I would like somebody to do a survey and see how many Vincentian own businesses. Because every other step you make in Kingston, it's foreign. It's not that we don't welcome them, but we have to there's a pastors take care of their children. I
am sure you heard last week when the leader of the New Democratic Party, Dr. Friday, was right here and he was talking about the solutions to local businesses.
No, yep.
He was right here talking about that. The solution, look, I'll note it down here in my little book of notes. Yeah. The solution to local businesses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because like Kingsley was saying there too, tell the people as it is. Once you believe and you have faith in God, you can. Like I said to everybody, I pray for every man, woman. Share my blessing with every man, woman, and child throughout the world. And anytime God is ready for me, I'm ready.
All right, my dear.
They can only destroy me, but they cannot destroy my soul. And I'm not going out there with no fear. I am not going. When I leave my home and I go to Kingston, I could scarcely walk sometimes. But I'm not going out there with no fear. I don't fear them. They can do me whatever they like. But they will have to answer to God.
All right, my dear. I want to wrap you up now. I hope you don't mind.
A lot, but I'm just trying to get out some points.
I know. I appreciate that this morning. Really do.
Okay, God.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me. We're gonna take the break now. Mr. Adam Eustace is here. The Honorable Adam Eustace is here with us. Just joined us in the studio. So we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna start the discussion with the Honorable Mr. Adam Eustace. Of course, the phone line is open. I just want to go back to the point that the lady was making there a while ago, where I said that just last week, Dr. Friday was right here on the New Times program talking about the solutions to the local business sector. And one of the things he said, I noted it here, is to create a ministry of private sector. And it is in the New Democratic Party's manifesto. Mr. Eustace just said it. We're going to take a break and we're going to come back. We just don't talk when we come here, no. We just don't talk when we come here. When we come here, the New Democratic Party continues to provide the solutions to the people going forward. So when they go otherwise and they talk, they dribble out of their mouth that they talk. Why I say this morning, hypocrites. So welcome back inside the New Times program here on Nice Radio. As we come back after the break, again, just a few quick announcements for you. A reminder that the meeting scheduled for Central Leeward, March 22nd, that has been shelved until further notice. That has been postponed until further notice. Of course, the House resumes on the 22nd of March. So because of that, the Central Leeward meeting has been postponed until further notice. I just want to announce too as well that Central Leeward and West Kingstown, they will be having their elections this coming Monday, the 19th of March. Central Leeward will be having theirs at Glebe Hill at 6 p.m. West Kingstown will be having theirs at the Learning Resource Center at 5 p.m. So we want to encourage persons in both Central Leeward and West Kingstown to be there. You'll be having your elections on Monday, the 19th of March. That's this coming Monday. In Central Leeward, they'll be having theirs at Glebe Hill at 6 p.m. and West Kingstown will be having theirs at the Learning Resource Center at 5 p.m. Want to encourage all persons in those constituencies who are going to be voting and those who are in the elections to make sure that you are there. Also have to let you know that leader of the New Democratic Party, the Honorable Godwin Friday, along with Noel Dixon, will be in Diamond on Friday the 16th of March for the usual meet and greet and walk around in the constituencies and the villages. They will be meeting at Diamond, at the Diamond Gap at 3:30 p.m. So I want to encourage all persons to be on the lookout, and to those who are going to be walking around and rallying with Dr. Godwin Friday and Noel Dixon in Diamond. That's on Friday the 16th of March. They'll be meeting at the Diamond Gap at 3:30 p.m. So joining me in the studios as usual on Tuesday, we have the Honorable Mr. Adam Eustace. Mr. Eustace, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, good morning.
And how are you, sir?
I am okay. As you know, I've been telling you I've been having a problem with my knee.
Yes, you've been giving me the whole story.
Giving me real serious problems and restricting my ability to move about in the